listen to me, Chartier. Your company keeps billing me for excess data usage that I haven't used. Despite my repeated complaints, it still appears on my bill. Now what's going on? No, too little, too late. No, I want all fees removed, otherwise I'm out. My name?
Rick, hang up.
Brody. Rick Brody.
Just tell him you're going somewhere else. Hang up.
No. P-R-O-A-D-Y. Okay, yep. Alright, well, you do that, Chartier, and you tell him to get back to me when he's got something better. You've got 2 hours. Jesus, that's hard work.
Well, this looks like the spot.
Let's get this over with. Okay, Rick, you clear? I'm going to power up. Stand by. Hey, Rick, come and check this out. Oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus, Ben, what have you done?
We're losing it. I'll try.
No! Ah! Shit!
Oh, shit.
Something on your mind, Rick? Something funny? You get an amateur to do a pro's job and look what happens. What, so you think this is my fault?
Take a look out there, Benny boy. Anything you'd like to share? There's 20k of my drone trashed out there. Probably beyond repair. You're the bloody pilot, you figure it out. Go!
Good morning, my name is Rosie Jane and I will be mediating this hearing this morning. Now, Mr Snyder and Mr Baker, you obviously met prior to this meeting, and we have Mr Booth and Mr Peters that will be assisting me this morning. Now, before we begin, we seem to be missing Mr Prodie. Do you have any idea where he is, Mr Snyder?
No, I have no idea where he is, Councillor. In fact, I haven't heard or seen him this morning, so I just assume he's running late.
Okay, then we'll make a start. Right, now Mr Snyder, can you please tell me what happened on the morning of March the 29th on track 8 after the drone crash, as you remember them?
Sure. Well, after the drone went down, Rick and I went into the property to try and retrieve it.
After climbing through a hole in the security fence.
Not much of a security fence if it's got a hole in it now, is it?
Hey, you were trespassing, buddy, on private property without permission.
Mr Baker, please do not interrupt. A general mediation hearing means that we will all have a fair go. Right, now Mr. Snyder, please continue.
As I was saying, Rick and I entered the property to try and retrieve the drone. That's when it got a little interesting.
Like that last job. Mate, I'm not built for this. You're the svelte one around here. 5 minutes. We'll be there in 5 minutes. Check this out. Oh, shit.
What's up?
I've stepped on something.
On something or in something?
Come over here, will you?
What is it?
You know, some sort of device, son. Oh, no, stay there. Shit, there's a serial number. What do I do?
Oh shit, I'm not getting a signal.
What?
Look, I'm gonna have to leave you here for a bit. I'm gonna go back to the van and see if there's anyone there. I'll get help. Stay there!
Okay, Ben, we'll pause it there. Now, Mr. Baker, as I understand it, when you arrived at the property, you saw Mr. Prodie running towards you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just pulled up in the car outside of the factory when this guy came barreling over to me. He said his mate here had stepped on a landmine. I don't know. I thought he was a nutter. Huh? Off his meds?
You right, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Who's this guy?
Oh, I ran into him at the car. He's a local security. He might be able to help.
What do you know about explosives?
Well, that all depends on what we're dealing with. Yeah, I thought so.
What?
Well, it's pressure plated. Take your foot off that.
Shit. Rick, you're going to have to find something really heavy.
What do you mean, out here?
Over there, in that clearing, there should be a scrap metal heap.
Will this do?
Yeah, that'll do.
Bring it over.
All right. As soon as I let this go, we're only gonna have a couple of seconds, right?
Yeah, okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Go!
That's all, folks.
Yeah, so that's that. Problem solved. And then I escorted both of these men off the premises.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Now, Ben, please tell me why you and Mr. Prodie were at the property in the first place.
We were hired to do a surveillance sweep of the property
By whom?
by a client who has an interest in it, a very special client.
And that client's name?
I can't tell you at the moment, Councillor, I'm sorry.
And why is that?
Well, let's just say that we have some information that has been handed over to the law enforcement agencies.
So what evidence do you have?
Well, the drone didn't malfunction as Rick and I first thought. It was shot down. This first photograph is a screen capture from the drone showing the factory in question. The second photograph is from the drone at the moment of impact from the bullet. And this third photograph was taken by our forensic unit, and it clearly shows a bullet lodged in the side of the drone's fuselage, just above the camera. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this, would you, Stu?
Nah, nothing to do with me.
Thought as much. Don't recognise this, do you? This photograph was taken 2 days before the drone was shot down, the same day we commenced our surveillance. It's funny how this found its way from your security van and ended up beside the booby trap.
Coincidence. Someone could have picked it up and put it down by the van. Nothing to do with me.
Mr. Peters, can you please get the door? Right, now Mr. Snyder, please continue.
This is a photograph from one of the surveillance cameras of a roof that isn't there, and a person who, strangely enough, looks a little bit like you, Stu.
Bullshit. Let me see it. Looks nothing like me. No, I've told you both before, you've got the wrong person. Now, I suggest we wrap up this shitty little piece of theatre right now before I decide to destroy this entire place with the four of you in it!
Mr. Baker, are you here with us or somewhere else? I've just issued you with a warrant for your arrest. There are police officers waiting outside.
What? Ballistics took this photograph of the drone with a bullet in it. The bullet matches the calibre that's found in your firearm. You know, this whole thing could have been avoided if you hadn't gone ahead with those trespass charges.
Mr. Peters, Mr. Booth, would you please escort Mr. Baker to the door? I think we'll adjourn this meeting right now.
This way, Mr. Baker.
By the way, you owe the company a new drone. I'll bill you.
Well, this ain't over. And I'd watch your back if I were you.
Alright, bring that drone back. Do it now!
It's done.
Alright, you might make it out of here after all.
Look, I've done everything you've asked. Everything. What more do you want?
There's always more, Mr. Proddy. It's the name of the game.
You know, Mr. Proddy, I'm done with you now. You're right. I don't need you anymore.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh.
You lose, Counselor.